You don't lose your faith all at once. You don't wake up one day suddenly far from Allah. It happens quietly. So quietly that most believers never notice the warning until it's already passed. Right now, there's a sign Allah gives before things begin to change. And the scary part is not that people ignore it, it's that they mistake it for something normal. If lately your heart feels distracted during worship, if reminders no longer move you the way they once did, if you still believe, still pray, still try, yet something feels dull inside, this is not random. But before I explain what this warning actually is, understand this clearly. This message is not for everyone. It's for people who still care about their heart, even if they don't fully understand what's happening to it. Most people think Allah warns loudly, through loss, through hardship, through fear. But one of Allah's quietest warnings is comfort without consciousness. When sin doesn't disturb you anymore, when worship feels automatic instead of alive, when the heart keeps going but stops paying attention. Not rebellion, not denial, just drifting. This is the warning many believers overlook, because on the outside everything looks fine. Life is moving, responsibilities are handled, faith is still there, at least in form, but inside, the heart feels less present. You pray, but rush it. You make dua, but multitask through it. You hear reminders, but scroll past them faster than before. Not because you reject them, but because your heart feels full, yet empty at the same time. And that's dangerous, because when the heart becomes accustomed to distance, it stops asking for closeness. That's when people say things like, "I just feel tired. I'm busy. I'll get back to it later." But later quietly becomes longer. Here's something most people don't realize. Allah doesn't always warn by taking something away. Sometimes He warns by letting you continue, without sweetness, without presence, without urgency. And if that doesn't wake the heart, the next stage is harder. Not punishment, withdrawal, less motivation, less sensitivity, less concern over what once mattered deeply. That's why this warning is quiet, because it happens while you're still functioning. Think about this carefully. When was the last time you felt deeply moved by the Quran, not emotionally, but internally? When was the last time you sat in silence and felt close to Allah without asking for anything? When was the last time you noticed your heart during worship instead of just finishing it? If those moments feel distant, this is the warning. Not that Allah is far, but that your heart is being allowed to drift. And Allah only allows drift when the heart keeps choosing distraction over return. But here's the mercy most people miss. This warning is not the end. It's the final invitation before things change. Because Allah does not warn the hearts He has abandoned. He warns the ones He still wants back. The discomfort you feel listening to this right now, that tightening in your chest, that sudden awareness, that is not guilt. That is life returning to the heart. Allah says He is gentle, and gentleness doesn't always feel soft. Sometimes it feels like being exposed quietly to the truth. So here's what matters next. If you ignore this moment, the heart learns how to suppress it. But if you respond even slightly, everything begins to shift. You don't need to overhaul your life tonight. You don't need to make promises you won't keep. You need to interrupt the drift tonight. Choose one moment of presence, one prayer without rushing, 1 minute of silence without your phone, one honest sentence to Allah, not polished, not perfect, just honest. Because hearts don't harden suddenly, and they don't return suddenly either. They respond to attention. Now listen carefully, this part matters. If this reminder shook you even a little, do not scroll away silently. That silence is how the warning gets buried again. Like this video, if you felt this message was meant for you, it tells your heart you're responding, not avoiding. Comment, Ya Allah, bring my heart back. Not for me, but as a public intention you can't undo. Share this with someone you know has been drifting quietly, because Allah may be using you as the reminder. Don't underestimate moments like this. They don't come often, and they don't come by accident. A quiet warning reached you today. What you do next decides whether it fades or changes everything.